Hey, Stephen, you to here with a little discussion on a very small model car, the Volkswagen Beetle. 21.5 million Beetles were built from 1938 onward, excuse me, in an air-cooled car, the people's car, very inexpensive for Germans to buy and, put them on the road. By contrast, Ford Model Ts, only 15 million were built between 1913 and the end of the line in 27. So again, 21.5 million Beetles, 15 million Model Ts. So interesting, both cars rendered in plastic. But getting back to plastic, this is a couple of those, and this is an MPC 1/32nd scale Volkswagen 1200 model kit. And this kit was tooled and designed by Airfix of England and then marketed here in England or America by MPC, Model Products Corporation of Detroit, Michigan. And nice box art, pretty cool. On the side, there's a little diorama. It's a night shot right there. I guess you can use that in your imagination to bring this car to life. On the side panel, again, 1/32nd scale, minimal detail. Doors, the hood, nothing opens, no engine, nothing like that. But you can see right there that you can use your imagination and see what this thing could be. It does come with something kind of cool, a little mounting stand, clear plastic, and here it is right here in action. You can put the body on it, and there it is, this little plastic thing right here, and it goes together, and you can sort of orient your Volkswagen and put it up there. And here's the frame or the pan, the bottom pan for the car, and the body itself is pretty decent. 1/32nd scale. Again, no opening doors, no hoods, nothing like that. And but well proportioned, nice white plastic, nothing wrong with that. And of course, here's the spine where the shifter goes, and the rear transaxle and the axles, trans half shafts. And nice little model for 1/32nd scale, probably a 90-cent kit back in the day. And moving a little bit bigger, this is a 1/20th scale Pyro Volkswagen 1500, and this is a more upscale. This one has the option for electrification, and this one's molded in yellow plastic. More on that in a second. And we see on the box art, kind of nice, little plug for the other Pyro models right there. I like the cover right there, phantom view right there of the Volkswagen, and the batteries for the electric motor up front under the trunk, and a nice little detailed thing. Now, speaking of detail, this model is actually pretty decent. The only downside, it's a multi-piece body. You had to glue it together and hope it got aligned. But again, with that said, opening a deck lid, opening hood up front, and again, batteries, if you electrified it, would go under that hood. And here's that hood right here, which would go up here like so. And nicely rendered, properly scaled. Proportions are really nice. In fact, the Volkswagen logo is seen on the hubcaps right here. And again, the wheels are not the dreaded integral tire and rim, one-piece plastic molded in color, yellow. You'd have to paint this to make it look halfway decent. But a kind of cool little thing. It's sunroof coupe. You can the folding fabric top on this thing, fold back. And again, interesting detailed little cart here for tires, and kind of cool little add-ons. And again, this would have been probably a $2 kit, something like that, back in the day. And cool stuff. Here's the floor pan right here with the back seat, and the torsion bar rear suspension right there, properly rendered. And here's the transaxle here. The engine would be bolted up to that, and here is the engine right here, the flat 4 air-cooled engine. And nice little model, really, for what it is. And other details are kind of cool. A couple of mechanics, little figurines right here. Here's the guy here with the wrench, and two-piece construction on these little guys. And here's a guy standing up, maybe a police officer, not sure. But there's this kind of nice little details for this kit. So a nice little piece of work. 1/20th scale, 1/32nd scale. The price point and detail varied tremendously. But with that said, fun little ways to celebrate the Volkswagen Beetle, the people's car. And moving further down price, well, let's get into the world of Palmer Plastics. This is the 40 Ford, which kind of looks like a Volkswagen Beetle, but it's not. Again, 1/32nd scale. And, Palmer did a pretty decent, this is actually a pretty decent little model. And the body is many pieces, but again, the fenders are decent. It looks pretty cool. No problem with that. It's a V8 flathead car. It's a two-door coupe. But again, the side body panels here, you have to glue them on with cement and, hold it overnight with a piece of tape or whatever, or super glue. But I don't think kids had super glue back in the 1960s when this thing was new. But again, not a bad little model. And in fact, Palmer tried to extend the line with something called the Roadrunner series. or actually the low riders, these things right here, which is basically the same kit right here, but with larger tires and a big goopy supercharger up front, and great goodies. There it is right there. And then the low riders from California, 1, 2, 3, 4, and more. So again, these were like 99-cent kits back in the day. And moving further down, you know, Pyro Plastics and Palmer did have another thing called Winnico. There it is, Winnico Industries, and sort of a Palmer Plastics, a side shot. And this is a Chaparral, not a bad little model. And you can see right here, it's again multi-piece body, but nicely rendered. You can see the Chaparral. Jim Clark and the Chaparral crew would have appreciated this little 1/32 scale. Again, probably a 90-cent model back in the day. Here's the chassis pan right here, and a little engine with the it's a small block Chevy with fuel injection, little bits and pieces. That's the seats, the interior tub right there. And you'd have some patience to put this thing together. And here's the chrome tree. Kind of cool to see the spoked wheels, similar to a Chaparral-ish wheel. But again, we see a lot of flash on these parts. Flash, of course, is the remnants of plastic that squeezes out between molds that aren't properly clamped. The plastic squeezes out, pollutes the thing. You have to trim that flash off of there, or leave it if you want. You know, it wouldn't really impact this car either way, and it's model either way. But again, not a bad little rig. And this is something you would have bought for probably 90 cents. Mom would have got this for you on the way out of the supermarket. And lots of flash, loads of flash, extra plastic free of charge, instrument panel right there. So again, the Palmer Plastics, neat little model on the low end of the feeding tree or feeding pole. And again, Volkswagen. So that's a look at Volkswagen Beetle kits in 1/32 scale and 1/20 scale. So mow the lawn once or twice, ask mom for the money, and get one or both of these kits. They're kind of fun. Thanks for watching.